Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 and hello fellows, Herogon here. Today is Tuesday, September 26th of 2023. I know it's pretty early in the morning for yours truly this Eastern time, but well, let's just say I've got a few things to do today. I want to get this out of the way since I usually do these sorts of recordings when it's pretty much quiet. Because let me tell you, when you have a family of a few other siblings, it can be hard to find the time to have it entirely quiet. Anyways, going into this week, so far things have been good. And as a matter of fact, I have something big to announce. Yours truly has his own YouTube channel right now. Right now, this is the one and only Herogon YouTube channel. Or at the very least, it's my own. Except no other substitutes here. And of course, with that, I've been a little hard at work trying to get things all put up. I might have joined around March 6th of 2022, but don't let that fool you. This is my first ever video that I've gotten here. So if you'd like, do comment, like, and subscribe, because at times like this do get pretty tough. And let me tell you, a YouTube landscape like this, it's definitely going to be a very bumpy ride. So, once you're through with the introductory video, do feel free to come back here. And with that, let's get into this week's Sean the Bro tutorial for this Funlog Friday/Showcase Saturday, which may end up evolving into something else once I get things moved from Instagram and Facebook right over to just doing it on YouTube. Now, this week involved the Dazed and Stunned state. This is part 191. We are pretty close to the 200 mark for Sean the Bro. So yeah. In this episode, Sean goes over implementing the Dazed state, which is something that Mortal Kombat makes use of, adding the ability to trigger Daze on any attack and enabling combos on dazed opponents. Now, from what you can see here with Sean's own copy, here you can easily see them having gone into a daze like this, and you can even combo them, which can be pretty useful. And of course, they always have to put on the ads. I'm sorry for all that. Give me a moment to try and skip that one. There we go. Anyways, let's get into the coding part for my own copy. Now, in the code, there's one new spot, Dazed, in the E-combo state. This particular state is simple enough, E_Dazed, the U meta, which displays the name as whatever we want it to be, but I just put it as Dazed in all capitals, which is very useful for my own little organization, as well as Sean's too, I like to think. Now going downwards, we shall go to ReceiveDamage, in which we have a new boolean called should cause Daze, which is set to false by default. Now moving into the character.cpp, the main part is in ReceiveDamage. We have our bool of should cause Daze, And if we scroll down a bit further, we have a few new spots. An if should cause daze statement, where if we should cause daze, our combo state will be set to dazed. Else, if the num stun frames is greater than 0, we switch on hitbox height to one of these values. If our case is a hitbox of high, then we have our combo state set to stunned high. Then we break. Then if it's mid, then we stun mid, break. If our case is low, then it's stunned low, break. And finally, if our height is none, then we just break from there. So yeah, that is all good there. Now there's another part that I almost forgot. In Hitbox Actor, we want to put in a new boolean for hitbox data called should cause daze, which is essentially, should this hitbox be able to daze the opponent? If so, then we'll daze them. If not, it will just do the usual logic around. Anyways, going to the blueprint a bit. In our hitbox data table, actually the moves part first, I have added a new boolean called should cause daze like usual. It's set to false by default. Then of course in the hitbox data, for light punch strike hitbox, I have should cause daze to be set to true just to be sure. And of course, in Hitbox Actor BP, I also want to insert the should cause daze into the receive damage part, which is in 2 spots as a matter of fact, one being check collision, and the other being the projectile collision, where it's pretty much the same thing, just put the node into there, and that should be good to go for me. Then in the anim BP is where the big stuff happens. Going into there, we have a new state machine called Dazed, where if we want to go from idle to dazed, we want to check if the combo state is equal to dazed. And if it is, then we go play our dazed animation, which is a copy of the stunned anim used for the round lost for the opponent or ourselves if we lose such a match. And of course, if we want to go back to idle, we get our relevant anim time remaining for dazed. And if it's less than or equal to 0, then we go back to idle, and we have a transition event called end daze. Now what end daze does, of course, is set the combo state back to no combo state. I of course put a print string there to check some things earlier because boy, did I have a hard time with things. I had accidentally put into the code 2 equal signs instead of 1 equal sign for the dazed. But of course that's a bit of a small story that I don't know if I wish to tell that right now, due to the time that I've been trying to keep on a down low. Now with Dazed to launched, it's simply combo state launched. We have a shared transition rule called launched, which is combo state E launched. And the same goes for going from dazed to hit reaction. It's a transition rule that's shared called enter hit reaction. And if our combo state is stunned low or mid or high, we go into that. And yeah, that is pretty much it on that front. So let's go into the gameplay and show you a bit of how it's been done. Like usual, I always choose the versus practice because that's where you can see how the hitbox magic happens, which is very useful. Then we go into here. By pressing the P key on my keyboard, I was able to skip all the intros. Now, watch and see. I light punch them. They go into the Daze state. Of course, they can move around, which I attribute to the anim remaining part. And of course, there we go. I also think it's a case of the stun frames being a little too short for the animation itself because, well, the animation for Dazed is a bit short, on the shorter side. It's actually around 128 frames, or 2.13 seconds. So yeah, I was definitely on the shorter side there, trying to give 45 stun frames here. But of course, this is indeed just a framework so far. I'm not sure if I'm planning on any sort of fighting game right now, as my priorities have sort of evolved, so to speak. Right now, who knows what I'm going to do currently. And with all that, that's going to be it for the coding side of stuff and blueprints. Credit again goes to Sean the Bro for all of his content, which is pretty amazing in my own opinion, because I have been working through this for quite a while. 2 years, ever since 2021. And let me tell you, these times do get a little rough around the edges, but I definitely enjoy it. As much as I have the hard time, it's always great to figure things out and see some kind of bearing of fruit for this sort of thing. So if you'd like, do like, comment, and subscribe to Sean the Bro's channel too. If any of you are wishing to subscribe to my channel, I'd suggest subscribing to Sean the Bro too, for any of the budding game developer out there, because game engines these days are a little scarce on providing fairness ever since the wake of the Unity game engine. Even if the Unity game engine has backtracked on a few things, as many people would think, who's to say Unity wouldn't try something like that again? So for those that are planning on trying to jump to another engine after the whole debacle, I wish thee good luck. With all that being said, I've been Herogon, you've been you. My opinions are my own, I'd like to think. And thank you all for tuning in. But for right now, I will see you all guys later. Goodbye everyone. Thank you.